The Ibiza is one of Seat's most popular and iconic models. This current generation launched all the way back in 2017, and I remember it well because I was on the international press launch of this that summer. It arrived in Ireland to great praise for its sharp handling, affordable pricing and practical interior. It was always a sort of prettier Volkswagen Polo and a little bit more fun than its German cousin. But 2017 is a long time ago in the new car world. Lots happened in the meantime. The sister brand Cupra has really taken off, even in the Irish market as well, expanded its lineup. And for a while there were questions about Seat's future. But now the brand is getting some love again. They facelifted the Arona and the Ibiza, refreshed it inside. But is it enough? If you're buying a small car in 2026, should you consider this new Seat Ibiza? So there's a few different engine options for this. There's the 1 litre petrol engine, 3-cylinder. That is 80 horsepower, comes with 5-speed manual. Of more interest, I think, if you like something that feels a bit livelier, is the 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol that comes with either 95 horsepower or 115, like what I have here. 0 to 100 in 9.9 seconds, so it does feel lively. You can get it with 6-speed manual or 7-speed DSG, like what I have. And I do find that they work well together, even at low speeds around town. There's no real hesitancy from it. The only time I did feel like it was a bit slow to respond is that if you're driving out on the motorway, you're cruising and you want to do a quick overtake, there could be a teeny bit of lag. You got to give the accelerator and the gearbox a little bit of notice before you take off, but it's all really manageable all the same. It feels nippy and alive in your hands, and the Ibiza is still fun to drive after all these years. It still feels really sharp. The steering is well weighted. It's not overly light as it can be in small cars like this, and there's really good body control through bends. This is the FR, so it does have a stiffer sport suspension, and that is worth noting because it definitely affects the ride quality. It feels a little bit firmer and bumpier on Irish roads, particularly Irish rural roads, but it cruises pretty well all the same. Now there is quite a lot of road noise. I would say that refinement is where it has fallen behind the best of its rivals. So even on a national primary road like this, you get quite a lot of tyre roar in it, so it can get grating after a while on a long journey. I think with the Ibiza you just have to be sensitive to which trim you go for. I think the SE Plus with the 1 litre TSI is the one to go for. You save yourself a bit of cash. It should be a bit more comfortable. It gets the 17-inch alloy wheels and a little bit more equipment than the very entry level car, so I think that would be my pick of the range. When it comes to fuel consumption, it's actually good. So they say 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres for this one in particular with the automatic, and I'm seeing about 6 litres in real world driving, so I'm happy with that. The Seat Ibiza was always one of the most attractive small hatchbacks you could buy, and I still think that about this one. It's different but also really familiar at the same time. So they have changed the shape of the grille and the finish to it. There are slimmer LED headlights with slightly refined lighting signature, larger air curtains at either side and a larger central lower intake. 16-inch alloy wheel is the standard, and this is the FR, so it's on 18-inch alloy wheels. They've got a really nice sporty design, the black wing mirror caps. There's also a few different colours, including this one, and altogether I just think it's a really good looking car. The basic layout hasn't really changed over the years, but they have added more modern features like digital driver display and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. So great to have those modern features. For the 2026 update, they have focused on upgrading the seat upholsteries and adding a few more soft touch materials. I'm not so keen on this white around the air vents. I do think it looks a bit cheap, but I love the fabric finish to the door cards, this silver finish, and this is a nice soft touch material in the dashboard, so it just elevates that perceived quality. It is a tad old-fashioned, however. You will know that it's an older car overall. There's a few clues to that. So the manual handbrake for a start, a very sturdy gear selector, you don't really see those anymore, and then lots of buttons and dials. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, because on one hand you could say, oh, it's a bit dated, but on the other hand, it's actually really practical and intuitive to use. Things that I miss from modern cars, like buttons and dials. This is your touchscreen. It's not flash by any means, but you do have your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And there is a proper panel of buttons and dials down here for the climate settings. It's really easy to adjust while you're driving. Proper buttons on the steering wheel. They didn't have to change a thing. Standard features include air conditioning and cruise control. If you go up to the SE Plus, you get ambient lighting, reversing camera, and they've added height adjustment to the passenger seat as well as the driver's seat. The FR trim gets these sports style bucket seats. They've got more lateral support and also drive modes. If you want features like wireless smartphone charging or heated front seats, you do have to add those as options. But it's not a huge amount of money extra either, but it's a pity they're not standard on any of the trim levels. It still looks good after all these years. A sort of prettier Polo. Sporty and stylish, particularly the FR trim. Now this one of course gets a little bit of a sportier finish with those fake exhausts. Haven't seen those in a while. Some people complain about them, but I think it looks cool. Here's how the boot opens, so it's via the badge. Do you remember when VWs used to do that? What a cool little innovation. And you've got 355 litres. Still a good size, about similar to Peugeot 208, a bit bigger than a Toyota Yaris hybrid, and a bit less than a Skoda Fabia or Renault Clio petrol. But very practical for daily life, and they all get the split folding rear seats. So what's it like in the back? Well, it's actually good, even for adults in the outer seats. Legroom is good, headroom, there's that little window that makes it feel bright and airy. It doesn't feel too cramped back here. Obviously it's going to be tight for someone in the middle, as you expect in a small hatchback, because there is a transmission tunnel as well. There's Isofix on the two outer seats. There's no centre armrest. Again, that's not really a given in the B segment. Pockets in the back of those seats, but there's no USB-C port, so there's nowhere to charge your devices. But all in all, I think it's still one of the most practical small cars. That's all from the cabin of the new Seat Ibiza. It definitely feels its age in places. There's parts of this car, like the interior and the refinement, where it has fallen behind the best of its rivals, but it's still good to drive. It looks great, and there's something nice about all the buttons and dials you get in this interior as well. The FR trim is lovely in terms of the bits it adds and how the car looks, but I think the SE Plus is probably the smarter choice all round, and you'll get it for a better price as well. There's a threat to small petrol hatchbacks like this from the rising tide of hybrids and small electric cars, even within the Volkswagen group. We've got things like Volkswagen ID Polo on the way, and also the Cupra Raval with some very sharp pricing, at least for their entry point. But not everybody has facilities to charge and really want to make that jump just yet, and that's who this car is for. You can find more great car reviews over on changinglanes.ie. If you'd rather watch them in video, do subscribe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.